Happy Sunday. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys subscribing to that. Thank you, RC, Lee, Catherine. Truly appreciate it. Thank you, Delaney. Good morning, everyone. We are going to be taking a trip down Watts Island memory lane. Many of us were here while this all transpired. I know it brings up a lot of emotions for people, more than just the two involved in it. So please keep the chat as respectful as you can. If you have different opinions, that is fine. Just keep it clean. I know as it all transpired in front of us, I fluctuated on how I felt about it. It is crazy to see it transpiring all this time later. Hey, Izzy, it's good to see you. Miss Liverbird, the one you know. You are Julie's, thank you. Good morning, Connie. Hey, everybody. Hey, Loki's mom. Oh, we are buckling up today. You're gonna love this one, Loki's mom. Hey, Cheese, Alicia, Karin, Melissa Bell, Jason, AK-47, Georgia Peach. So we are taking we're gonna take the bus to a boat and we are gonna go to Watts Island for a little bit. We're gonna try to do this respectfully, as respectfully as we can. So let's get this bus started because I don't have all day. And we've made it. So of course, good morning, studio. We are going to need some coffee, some snacks, perhaps something a little bit stronger. Definitely some life jackets. Hey, Tennille, it's good to see you. So a few years back, the Chris Watts case was blowing up, as most of you know. Some of you may not. And there were a few creators on this side that were considered key creators in the Watts Island saga. Hey, High Plains. Good morning, Billy, Tessa. And one of the creators came from Facebook. And when they came over from Facebook, they befriended those that were most known for, Chris Watts coverage and blah, blah, blah. And all hell came loose. And I mean, all hell came loose. It started with, there was a woman named Truth and Transparency who at the time had these little TikTok shorts where she called herself Shazam. And she dressed herself as a skeleton and made a mockery of Shanae Watts. Another creator named Crafton, will not get advertisement on this channel, came out and exposed all of that. Good morning, Philin. Good morning, The Kill Shot. As that was all being exposed, Truth and Transparency found her way over to YouTube, and she was doing good. She was doing good. She was doing a mock trial. She had a lot of participants. A lot of people forgave the whole Shazam bit, even though it got weird. Signed Valentine's Day cards from the kids to Chris. And then suddenly she was fighting for a 35C for Chris. And I've noticed when it comes to Lana, Truth and Transparency, that she likes to be on the guilty party side. She likes to... I mean, even recently, I don't know if what I was sent was correct because I didn't look, but she's selling Brian Koberger is a pimp hoodies. So that just gives you a little idea of who she is. But anyway, with her connection to Chris Watts' family and supposed connection to Chris Watts himself, a lot of people wanted to get in with Lana because of that. And at one point, a few ladies started a relationship with Lana. With that relationship, I found out that two of the ladies that Lana was supposedly talking to in that type of format were friends. When the friends found out, they went to another creator who claimed there was other women. Now, I've always stood on the end that if you're single, you can mingle. It doesn't make you anything. But a single person mingling. The problem is she first was threatening everybody and were threatening to show nudes. And then she did. She showed somebody's nudes right on the live stream. Anyway, fast forward 2 years later, she in her mind connected all these dots to claim it was all a setup from the gate. I'm already on her blacklist. I'm actually one of the first. She doxed me. She's the first person to ever reveal my identity on here. It was wild. It was very wild. Hey, Racy Cup. So she believes that it was all a setup from the beginning for whatever reason. And 2 years later, she is dragging many, many people into court in an attempt to, I guess, prove that. I don't know. I do know she later uses it on her channel as content. And it's wild and it's messy. And a lot of us were there from the very beginning of it, and to current time. So in this hearing, this is one of the women who started conversing with Lana, who had her nudes held against her. This woman went through hell. This woman went through hell with Lana, not with just Lana, with other creators. The jokes they made based on the news that she sent, the passing of the nudes, the mockery. The lady that was originally defended her then ended up going inside and with Lana, and a lot of people did that. A lot of people, to spare themselves the headache that is Lana when you're on her shit list, they went and they befriended her again. And when they did that, they passed around, private conversations, and it was just a whole mess of things. And it's actually a shame that 2 years later, this woman who was a victim of Lana's is dragged into the courtroom to be re-victimized. And you're all going to see today just what this judge allowed, how hectic it all is, and how wild truth and transparency and her conspiracies can be. Hey, Hooker.
All right, we are on the record on case number 23 CV 4943, Lana Oriani versus Melissa. We are scheduled today for full evidentiary hearing of Ms. Oriani's petition seeking a protection order to be issued in this matter. Ms. Oriani is present in the court.
One thing I forgot to mention, hey, my pal, catch me if you can. Good morning, everybody. One thing I forgot to mention is that Lana started what was, oh my goodness, what was the name of Fight for Her Family? And Fight for Her Family was set up to fight for Christopher Watts and his family. She had stated she was going to get Christopher Watts a 35C with the income that came in under her Fight for Her Family program. At one point, she even said Chris Watts' parents were on board with it. They were part of it. They claimed they weren't. They claimed they wanted nothing to do with it. She said she was going to give exclusive interviews with the family. It was a whole. I don't even know if I can break it down properly, but it was a whole mess. Yes, the judge does see her a lot. Well, she actually states that she is Idaho 4. And a lot of us that listen, I'm not going to take away Lana's, she is very dedicated and she can be very intelligent. She is, she just goes down these conspiracy routes. But a lot of us who have witnessed Lana from the start to now are shocked that she is where she's at, because we know we know all of the crappy things she has done to people. Apparently not Fight for Her Family. It was a whole lot. It was a whole lot. It's crazy, to be honest.
Courtroom. This is present via Zoom because she resides out of state. Ms. Oriani, are you ready to proceed on your petition today?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
They did deal with her a little bit.
To proceed?
I am.
Okay. All right.
And boy, there's a history.
Because Ms. is appearing remotely, I had ordered the parties to submit their exhibits to the court and to exchange them. What happened during the last scheduled hearings, Ms. Oriani, I think you represented that you were going to obtain counsel. You asked for continuance. I gave you the continuance. You're here today pro se, so I'm presuming that you did not obtain an attorney, correct?
Yeah, and I would like to be transparent with the court is I didn't realize that I had to put a different retainer down when I already had to retain that firm. I had to put a different retainer down. So I thought I could just be paying on my hourly. And so that's why I don't have one here today.
Okay.
For the transparency purposes.
Oh,
of
I
that.
understand. But
Okay.
I just want to make sure that
Absolutely.
you are proceeding pro se.
Correct, Your Honor. Yes.
Okay.
So Lana has stated before that she should be a lawyer. She should be this. Lana is full-blown conspiracies. Police are bad. Every high-profile case she has picked up or paid attention to, she claims that the person that they're claiming did the crime didn't do the crime. She likes to be against. She likes to be against the grain. Hey, Lana Kay. Hey, Joe. Not this Lana. Yeah, it's. I think I have some of the original panel downloaded. First off, Melissa is far from innocent, Amanda. She is far from innocent. I'm sympathetic towards the shit that was said about her, but she is not innocent. Drag her into my bullshit. Melissa started with me the moment I started my channel. But yeah, I mean, if you want to turn it into a bash Melissa, we can do that. We can absolutely do that. So you can be empathetic towards what somebody's going through, but still think they're a shit person. And I happen to be one of many that believe Melissa hides behind people like you. She wants to be a lawyer. She's going to have to get rid of the sloppy bun on her head. Oh, absolutely. Exactly. Catch me if you can. Because when Lana does anything but that, she doesn't get the views that she would get. You know what I mean? So. Oh, it goes far back, British. It goes far back. Very far back. You talk shit and try to. When's the last time I even talked about Melissa Jade? Say that's the funniest part about it. I think it was wrong the way everything was handled, and I stand by that. I absolutely stand by that. Oh, it goes so far back. It goes all the way back to the beginning. Hey, Southern Gal.
What I will say is when I previously ordered the exchange of exhibits, when Ms. Oriani asked for a continuance to obtain counsel, I think it was Ms. who brought the fact that would that change the exhibits, and I thought that was perceptive because I thought if Ms. Oriani.
Well, if you all recall, the very first time I started my channel, that's what was shouted at me. Don't mention her name. Don't mention her name. I mean, I was just on a channel this morning that replayed back a video from 2 years ago, my very second live stream ever, where I was attacked because I'm a Clover who doesn't like MJ came in my chat. And even back then, that narrative of don't mention her name was going on. And it was by bulldogs like that think that she is a protected source on here when she is not. Right, One Red Rose. People tired of these assholes, really. Honestly, bring the shit to me. Yeah, we just went over it. It's so funny. Somebody just replayed it this morning. The thing is here that she has the fact that Lana's a piece of shit overrides that. She's not, Jason. That's always been the thing. But I mean, I can take these streams a whole nother direction, honestly.
Did retain counsel that they may have new exhibits or different exhibits. So I did impose new deadlines if the parties wanted to submit exhibits, but Ms. Oriani didn't submit anything new, correct?
No, I did not, Your Honor.
Okay. And you have recently submitted new exhibits, but I will be honest.
Good morning, Trixies.
I asked for exhibits to be exchanged. I'd only impose those new deadlines if Ms. Oriani's attorney, had there been one, had redone her exhibits, then I was going to give you an opportunity to redo your exhibits. She didn't submit anything new. Okay.
See, from the very gate, all of this was hectic and crazy. Jessica Lynn, Laura Lee. It was Jessica Lynn. And then I could unprivate it, my very second stream on here when they all came in and started yelling at me about somebody chatting in my chat, because I guess the internet is supposed to be a safe place for a particular somebody, despite if you like them or not. There are some things Ella brought up that don't look good on her. Right there. Well, there are so many sides to this. And although Lana comes across like a lunatic, some of the things she had to say is true. Hey, Tammy's. Put a 1 in the chat if you were here during all of this unfolding. I was actually on the panel, Lori Lee. I went on the original panel. Because I did think at that time it was fucked to label somebody a sexual predator. Give me a break is right. I know. Look at all the ones. So a lot of you were here for the original of it. Oh, Lord, one. Yep. I was the other WAS community. We were crazy too, but I didn't meet you until early 2022. This was like being punked in court. Lock on your rock. Lots of ones. Yeah. Okay, wow. So a lot of you remember this kind of unfolding. Nope, not you. Heard about it, but wasn't watching. Wasn't here for it. Okay, so a lot of you were. It was insanity. It started off with there were 16 victims, but 3 came forward. The rest were hidden. We weren't allowed to know who the victims were. And then another couple went live and they tried saying there was like 37 victims. And I actually commented against that. And they ended up blocking me. But as soon as they realized that Jessica Lynn was Granny's watching and my chat was popping at the time, then they wanted to, unblock it. I still have the comments and the emails and everything from then. So I could probably bring all that forward and we could really deep dive into this. The J for J, the wearing of Lana's Uggs. Oh my goodness. Yeah, well, yeah. The gatekeeping of what we can talk about. Thought it was worse. The worst could happen here. We were so naive. Absolutely. Good morning, Copa and Sunflower. 16, and then it was like 37, and they were hashtagging 37, and it was premature to label her that. She did eventually become a predator for sure, but it was definitely premature at that time. And I remember there was a lot of behind the scenes dealings too. Like, oh my gosh. I mean, I could honestly probably blow the whole thing up if I wanted to. Huh. I'll think about it. Anyway, let's get back to it.
But she introduced on record at our last hearing things that she was going to be bringing up. So,
okay. And that's why you have additional exhibits you submitted, and Ms. Royani is going to be going first, and she brings those things up. Then you would probably, in fairness, be able to produce any evidence in response to that. Okay, but I don't know what she's going to put on the record today.
right.
Okay. All right. So
Good morning,
let's just get started because I do have numerous other cases set today. We'll see how timing wise how it goes. I may have to take a break and squeeze in other hearings that could be quicker, but we'll just play it by ear. Okay.
It's always been that way.
Ms. Royani?
Really quick, Your Honor.
Like a protected class.
From Marianne. My bag isn't up here yet, and I just want to thank you.
You're welcome. That should work.
So much.
Yeah. All right. Do you want to start by testifying?
Actually, I'm going to call her to the stand to lay the foundation of how we know each other and stuff like that.
So you're calling on cross-examination?
Oh, yeah. For those who are unaware, that is when my very first interaction and fight with Brittany J came in. All because, I mean, I can take you there really quick right now. You can see it all unfold, but all because somebody commented in my chat. And then apparently I broke girl code because I had the girl's ex on my panel, not even aware he was the ex. I actually even asked him in private chat, like, are you who I think you are? Oh, it was a whole fucking thing. And then there was behind the scenes saying, don't support Granny, don't help her get to 1,000. I mean, it was, then there was phone calls to try to work it out. And it was a whole, like, you would have thought I was shitting on somebody's yard. That's how these people felt. I was stomping on their territory, and how dare I? It was insanity. It was insanity. It was a fucking mean girl bully gang. That's what it was. Exactly. Yep. And I remember I took a phone call with Melissa to try to hash everything out when it came to Melissa and Echo. And then I found out Brittany J was on the call like 30 minutes into it. And I'm like, oh, so like she's here too. And I remember ending the call being like, I want to never speak to you. I don't fucking like you. You're not Melissa. Stop acting like you are. This is weird. Oh my gosh. How many of you were here for that is amazing. It is amazing. People try to make you feel like you're fucking nuts from it. So yes, I can be empathetic towards the situation Melissa went through and still think she's not innocent. Yes, the recliner survivors.
As a witness.
Boy.
I understand, but you're calling her on cross. That's
Right.
technically what it is.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Oh, good times.
The petitioner's calling you on cross-examination. Can you please raise your right hand for me?
I'm not going to be taking the stand.
Well, she's entitled to call you as an opposing party. The law allows for that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Thank you. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, as you shall answer to under God or under penalties of perjury?
I do.
Amen, Spudler.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Miss, for being here. Miss, where do you reside?
New York.
Okay. And you know the petitioner, Miss Oriani?
I do.
For those just coming in, a couple years back, the lady on the stand and this lady right here, Lana, had a little, very small-lived fling over Messenger. At that time, Lana was having a little fling with other women as a single woman, but with the particular woman on the stand, she says she no longer wanted to have this fling with her because she wanted to dive into something more serious with another woman she was speaking to. The other woman happened to be somebody that Melissa knew. Now, Melissa said they were best of friends. Allie said they weren't. So it's like a whole weird thing. Oh, PB card this last night when nobody's talking about it. Nobody's talking it. We're from it, just Samantha. This originated with our community. Nobody's talking about it. Truth and Transparency is the one that put it out there. I mean, I'm sorry, not Truth and Transparency. Lynn, Disorder in the Court. This is from our, like, this is our shit. We were all here. I was on the panel. I was here with it. No, nobody's talking about. Lynn just unprivate these videos 4 hours ago for me to cover them. Like, nobody was talking about it. Everybody was talking about it. We've been in the chat the past week as Lynn went through every single one of them. I mean, literally, this was our community. This was our shit. We were all involved in it. Right. We lived through it, every step of it. Everyone is talking about this. Actually, the main woman to do it is Disorder in the Court, Lynn, who I have a 3-year history with. So, yeah, like, we have histories with Lana, we have history with Melissa, we have history with Natasha. I was on the panel. It's part of my story. I was part of the story. Yeah, I mean, that's just Samantha. That's a little ridiculous of a thing to say. You have to admit that. That's crazy. I'm not taking. Yeah, I literally these videos run private for us to talk about it. Do what just Samantha just every time QB talked about something that we do. Yeah, if we cover it first, I guess we get to run in and say that. But again, drop a 1 in the chat if you were part of this community and here when this all unfolded. I don't recall QB being in our community. Me either, Delaney. Drop a 1 if you were originally part of this. I was literally on the panel. What kind of questions that if anyone has a reason to talk about, it's people who watched every second and know what happened. Yeah. Like, lots of 1s dropping in because we're part of this. Okay. Just making sure you see all those 1s. This is part of our original community. All right.
And how long have you known Miss Oriani?
A little over 2 years.
So November, December 2020.
Yeah, I was a jury member for the
Give
mock
you
trial.
exact dates.
Okay. How do you know Miss Oriani?
YouTube.
Nobody does because she wasn't.
Does Miss Oriani have a YouTube channel?
That's why she needed voices up there.
Yes, she does.
And is that how you knew her?
Not initially.
So you knew
Yeah.
her before she had a YouTube channel?
Me and Delaney were mentioned throughout this case. We were actually mentioned throughout this trial. We're part of it. I know the body language says it all. It really does. I explained above why I said or thought it. Okay, well, I hope you realize now that you said and thought wrong. I waited till I had Lynn's permission, since Lynn is the one who did all the groundwork. And when Lynn unprivate these for us to particularly go over, that's when I went over it. I spent the past week inside Lynn's chat going over it. I'm literally mentioned throughout the court hearing. Yeah. When you hear Jessica Lynn, that would be me. Yeah, no one. Yeah, exactly. I was actually on what they are labeling the sex panel. I was part of that. Because at the time, I felt bad for Len. It was such a heavy accusation to put on it. Just being covered by people who understand and can honor the nightmarish magnitude of this ongoing experience. And she isn't 100% innocent, but Lana, she discussed via shit. She doesn't deserve a channel. Lana literally says Jessica Lynn in this court hearing. Yeah. Can I just ask you? No, I don't know. I didn't even realize QB covered it, if I'm being honest. It wasn't until I had my thing set up that somebody sent me saying Voices was talking about this last night. And I said, where? And they said on QB's. And I said, she's on QB's. So, yeah. This is not because of...
That is correct.
So Miss Oriani had a YouTube channel March 26, 2021. So you're saying you knew Miss Oriani before March 26, 2021?
I don't know the exact dates that she created a channel. I know that.
Okay. Do you recall emailing Miss Oriani for the first time in April of 2021?
I do.
Okay. And that would be exhibit number 1 is the first PDF, and it's page 1. If you go ahead and turn to that, and it says, do you recall, I would ask if I could approach and show her this, Your Honor, but she has the exhibit there. So it's the first PDF. It's 100 pages, exhibit 1, page 1. Do you recall that email there, April 10th, 2021?
I do.
Okay. So you made contact with Miss Oriani for the first time, April 10th, 2021.
This isn't old, just Samantha. This just took place. This just took place. What do you mean it's old? The history behind it's old, in which many of us within this chat are part of. I wouldn't have said anything about MJ if it wasn't for Amanda coming in and trying to make it something. Oh, absolutely I can, especially when I'm part of it. And if it's old, then why is it being covered by them? Oh, absolutely. I cover whatever I want. Again, I have the history. I'm part of it. We are part of it. Facts, Loki's mom. That's so bizarre to say. Right. And I messaged Lynn. Like, I waited for permission. I'm not covering Lynn speaking over it. I waited. I was very respectful to the idea that Lynn not only did a lot of groundwork to get these videos, to upload these videos and cover them. No, you were trying to be slick is what you were trying to be. That's what it was, just Samantha. You weren't trying to be shady. You were trying to be slick. So I'm here to remind you that not only was my name mentioned during this, but I was part of all of it unfolded. I just had the respect to wait until the creator who did the groundwork was ready to, have her work used.
That's correct.
So that would be after her launch of her YouTube channel.
Again, I don't know when your YouTube channel was created or when you first went live on your YouTube channel.
Well,
there's a difference between when it was created and when you first
Your Honor,
went
this is
live on
unresponsive. If you could ask the witness to answer the question.
She said she doesn't know when your YouTube channel was created. That's her response.
Okay, thank you. So if Miss Oriani told you that the YouTube channel was created March 26, 2021, does April 2021 come after that?
When I say created, I don't mean the physical channel versus when you started using it as a YouTube creator and going live from it.
Your Honor, we'll take care of that on my testimony. So it is your testimony that you think Miss Oriani's YouTube channel was created March 26th?
I answered that. I do not know when your YouTube channel was created.
Okay, and the question was, does April 2021 come after or before March of 2021?
After.
Thank you. And you said that you do recall emailing Miss Oriani on April 10th, 2021.
I do.
Okay. And the email states, I just want to reach out and let you know I'm here if you ever need help with anything. I think doing a true crime trivia would be an absolute awesome idea. Lord knows it would be a nice distraction with all the drama currently going on within the community. Look forward to your live on Friday and being on panel with you again. Spoke with you on K's. Wish you all the best, Melissa Jade Cooters Mod. Is that you?
That's correct.
Thank you, Carol. I seen you say that a few times. You are welcome to leave if you feel uncomfortable with whatever topic I have going on. We heard you loud and clear the first time you wrote it. I'm sorry you feel that way. Again, I had nothing negative to say about Melissa until her friend came in and made a comment. I am going to cover this as fairly as I see it from a perspective of somebody who witnessed it all unfold. And if that hurts anybody's feelings, I do apologize. But neither people in this court hearing are completely innocent, and that's just fact. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like the fifth time it was said. She already was in a chat box writing all of our names down, so there was that. What's ironic about this is this came out because people were trying to gatekeep the community then. People were saying who was allowed to speak about the Watts case and be involved in the Watts case, and, you know, pissing all over, claiming they have the final say. She did have beautiful bedazzled jeans that day. They're trying to make it something, and you gotta love it. You gotta love it. Well, because apparently Queen covered it first. I just waited until the creator who did all the hard work gave permission to play it. So again, I was literally mentioned during this. We are from this. Many people within my chat were firsthand witnesses to all of this. We know more of it than anybody else ever will.
How did you obtain Miss Oriani's email address?
It is. I'm sure it costs their money,
Probably
time.
from advertising it. I'm pretty sure you were up on a panel and you literally told everybody you could reach out at this email address.
And you recall that from 3 years ago?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Was
I
before.
advertise on a YouTube channel, not my own, to reach out to me via that email address.
I'm telling you that that's most likely what happened.
That is what happened. Every channel Lana was on, she was advertising herself and saying you could email her at this, this, and this. Well, just Samantha, I think that with utmost respect, this is why there is this problem between me and Queen, and it's not because of me or Queen. It is because of subscribers like you. And I'm saying that with utmost respect. I'm just being honest. There are many people talking about this, and there are many people that originally started with it. But I do understand. No, I don't, if I'm being honest. I don't know why you said it, to be honest. I think you were trying to be slick with it, not realizing that this literally originated from the community I'm in. So Lana is trying to get a restraining order on this woman on the screen, Melissa. She is claiming that Melissa is involved in this higher conspiracy to destroy Lana's name before Lana's name was even established.
Okay, but you can't recall.
If I can refer back to it, going to the
She
email,
did say that.
Okay.
She said, slide
referring
into my
back to
DMs,
Kay's
ladies.
panel, that's most likely what happened.
And it's your testimony that Kay put up my email address?
Hey, Limey.
No, you were on Kay's panel, and I went on that panel with you.
And
I
how would my
agree,
email
Megan.
address come up from being on a panel?
You may have advertised it,
How would I be able to advertise that?
saying you could reach out to me at this email address.
So I gave out my personal email address on a live broadcast, a public live broadcast.
It's possible.
Okay. But you're not for sure. Isn't that correct?
No, I'm not 100% sure.
Thank you. When you emailed Ms. Oriani in April of 2021, did you have a YouTube true crime channel, Ms. that was monetized through Google?
I don't know the exact date that I would have just started a channel around that time. I don't know the exact month that I started it, and I don't know the exact month that it was monetized.
And can you explain to the courts, what does monetization mean through Google?
Monetization means that you became a partner with Google AdSense and that you could earn revenue.
You can earn money, isn't that correct?
That is what revenue is, yes.
So what line of work were you involved in when you emailed and first contacted Ms. Oriani in April of 2021? Did you have a job?
Yes, I was working at a dental office.
You were currently employed in April of 2021 at a dental office.
Yes.
What was the name?
I'm not giving you details.
So for those of you who don't know, the reason Melissa says there, I'm not giving you details, is because Lana invades your life. Lana deep digs into people, and she actually has an upcoming criminal hearing with somebody that is tied to Melissa. So a lot of what she is doing throughout this is she is going to be fishing for information to use in her upcoming case. Matter of fact, I think this is the only reason she's doing any of it, if I'm being honest, is to fish for more.
Your Honor,
What's the relevance?
the relevance is Miss, did you tell Miss Oriani that you in fact worked at this place when you met her or talked to her?
Thank you so much, Lacey.
Worked out what place?
The place that we're trying to get you to talk about here, the dental hygienist place. You told Miss Oriani when you first started talking to her in April 2021 that you in fact worked at as a dental hygienist. Isn't that correct?
The judge actually does allow it. Should the judge have allowed it? No. The judge is fully aware because this is her third time, I believe, in front of this same judge. Third or fourth time. Every single time it is a different person on the stand, but it's the same storyline and the same, whatever. Her upcoming, it is I don't even know if I'm allowed to speak on it, to be honest. So just know she has an upcoming case with somebody who she feels was hired by Melissa to do all of this. In Lana's mind, this was all set up to destroy her. But at this point, she wasn't even a established creator. She was known as Shazam, a woman who again used a skeleton avatar and mocked Shanann Watts. So she wasn't like established as a creator at this point while this is all unfolding. She was just getting started on YouTube.
That you were currently employed at that time, right?
Yes.
As you're stating right here, right now, April 2021, you were employed.
Yes.
Okay. Miss, when did you file your lawsuit against your current employer that you claim in 2021 for a slip and fall?
That wasn't a slip and fall.
What was it then? You file a lawsuit against your current employer.
I'll be next.
It's not a current employer.
Back in 2021, you just said that you were employed in April and that you were working.
A different office.
Okay, so the question is what office were you working at in 2021?
I'm not giving you any details.
So it is your testimony that you were employed in 2021.
Yes.
And you filed taxes in 2021 with that employer.
Correct.
Look at the judge.
And we're not able to find out the name of your employer.
I am not giving you any private details. No.
Facts. None.
No problem. We're going to continue on. We'll come back to that. Again, on the record, in 2021 in April, it's your testimony that you were working.
Ew.
Okay.
Answer.
And Miss, are you still employed by that company?
No.
When was your last day of employment?
Not answering those questions.
Well, if you're objecting on the grounds of relevancy, what is the relevancy of her employment?
I'm laying foundation as to what Miss Jade went ahead and said is why we're here. When the relevancy is foundation.
No, I don't understand where she worked in April 2021. I don't understand what that has to do with whether she's menacing and stalking you. That's what I'm asking you.
It's to lay, it's for character. It's to show that what Miss Jade is going to be testifying to. It's to impeach her. Impeach her testimony of what she went ahead and claimed that Miss Oriani wanted nudes and was demanding nudes while she was working.
She's so crazy. Thank you for uncovering this. I wonder whatever happened to all of Lana's victims of her self-righteous narcissism. Thank you so much, Lori. A lot of us were afraid of Lana. A lot of us kept our mouths shut. A lot of us walked on eggshells. A lot of us were... it is so hard to explain. Unless you have experienced the end of Lana that many of us have experienced, you don't understand the gratitude of it. But she already marked my name down because I was in Lynn's chat again the entire week that Lynn was covering this. So I'm already on her shit list again. And at this point, there's nothing Lana could do to me that hasn't been done on YouTube. So I don't care. Yes, this is Lana of Truth and Transparency. She is Idaho 4.
Okay, I don't think you need to
put
it on the name of her employer to get.
That's perfectly fine.
We've got it. She was working as a dental hygienist in April 2021.
Yes, that's what she claims. Yep. And then now she was rehired by a different employer, but now she's not employed by that person either, right? Okay. We can move on from that. After your initial contact with Miss Oriani in April of 2021, when did you contact her a second time?
I do not recall specifically.
Okay. Does Mother's Day in May of 2021 sound right?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
After a live YouTube broadcast on Natasha Cooper's panel?
Probably sounds about right.
Okay. And who's Natasha Cooper?
Another YouTube creator.
Okay. And you were friends with Natasha Cooper and you were on her panel in May of 2021. Isn't that correct?
That is correct.
That's correct? Okay. Now, at that time, in April and May of 2021, do you recall what Ms. Oriani was working on with her YouTube channel?
No, I do not. Oh, Chris Watts. I'm sorry, the Watts.
The Watts case?
Yes.
And was Ms. Oriani having a mock trial?
I don't know at what specific date the mock trial started, but it was around that time, yes.
And were you part of that?
Yes.
When you, how did you contact Miss Oriani that second time after that Mother's Day panel in May?
Facebook Messenger.
Okay, and what was the purpose for contacting Miss Oriani a second time?
As you were all listening to Lana question Melissa and, quite frankly, interrogate her, listen to the tone, as T-Bell just pointed out, of Lana. Lana was on Armchair Detective, yes. Lana is seeking a restraining order against Melissa. Try to keep that in mind. She does speak about herself in third person. She is asked by the judge to stop. The woman is a lunatic. This all surrounds the sex panel. Yes. Lana believes that it was a setup through Unmasked, which people have nicknamed the Empire, and that Melissa was sent in to do what she did to destroy Lana. Got her as she went to her car. Was that someone else? Huh? I don't know what you're referring to. I get it, Kelly Ford. Thank you. Do a Kegel every time she speaks in third person. She was definitely drinking and driving, yes. And then she tried saying it was a Capri Sun. Mm-hmm. Ooh, it's a whole lot. Right, it's not someone of fear. Absolutely not.
I wanted to reach out and discuss the case.
You wanted to discuss the Watts case?
Yes.
Okay. Were you in a relationship when you reached out to Miss Oriani in May, Mother's Day, May of 2021?
Objection, relevancy.
What's the relevance?
Laying foundation.
For what, though?
She's fishing.
What was it?
She said you're fishing, but
This is
I know you're trying to lay foundation, but what I'm asking you is, what are you?
the relevancy goes to why her purpose was to contact Miss Oriani the second time.
Okay, all right. You can answer the question.
No, I was not in a relationship.
You said you were not in a relationship?
That's what she said.
I couldn't hear. Okay. When you wanted to reach out to Miss Oriani to talk about the Watts case, as you claim, is it regular practice for you to send sexually explicit images to females, other creators, for purposes to talk about the Watts case?
Well, when it transitions into that type of discussion, naturally, that's where it went. But it wasn't just a discussion about the Watts case.
So your testimony now is that you didn't reach out to Miss Oriani about just the Watts case?
I didn't reach out with intentions for it to turn into that. I reached out with those intentions to discuss the Watts case, and then it evolved into what it evolved into.
So, Miss, in the middle of the night, you text message or private message on Facebook, Miss Oriani, to say that you wanted to talk about the Watts case, and then the next morning, unsolicited, just woke up in the morning and sent Miss Oriani a video that took your top off and said Hakuna Matata. That's how that transitioned.
What do you define as unsolicited?
Did Miss Oriani, unsolicited means you just sent something to Miss Oriani unsolicited.
Was there flirtatious talking back and forth?
Please answer the questions. If you want to cross-examine.
Hold on. You're the one responding to questions. If you don't understand something, you can ask for clarification. I think you can just respond.
So Lana's lovely girlfriend appears. Girlfriend, fiance, depends which part of the stream you're at. And this many know as Bella's bedtime stories. She was the right hand of Sav Girl for a very long time. She is now in a relationship with Lana. I also saw her in JR's chat, like begging to meet up with him. So take that as you will. Hakuna Matata. Let me guess, these news were leaked on YouTube. They were after she was labeled a sexual predator. They were. As Bella. That is Bella. There's absolutely Bella in the back. Bella in the back. Bella in the back. But if Mandy calls me Sonic again, I think I started that tattoos. Sorry. It gets really bad. Really bad. In the woods. Ooh, perhaps. That blew your mind, did it? Oh, Lord.
That if you believe that there have been flirtatious discussions going back and forth, you can just tell me that. But okay.
There was flirtatious talking back and forth. It wasn't unsolicited.
Miss, are you a bisexual woman?
I wouldn't define myself as a bisexual woman.
Miss Caldron, are you a gay woman?
Objection. Relevancy.
What is the relevance?
The relevancy is that this is going to show what Miss purpose, her true actual purpose for messaging Miss Oriani was to try to exploit Miss Oriani's sexuality that would take off into a plan of what I am trying to get to here and how Miss has gone about trying to humiliate me.
Now, bear with me here because I know you guys, many of you are going to be like, what the fuck, Granny? Did you just bang your head while you were muted? But I can see how Lana got here. And I know from my understanding is Teresa is a key player in this. I'm not saying Lana is correct in how she got here, but I can see how she came to this conclusion because in her mind, she has no other way to justify what took place. And Lana is a conspiracist. She likes to put together dots that don't connect. And somehow she found a way to connect these dots. It does make sense to me. I don't think she's correct in it, but I can see how she came up with it. I do. I can see how she came up with it. Because if not, there is still no real reason as to why all of this happens. That's all.
To meeting all the criterias of.
Okay, so where you're going with this is that you're saying that she was sending you
her purpose for messaging me was not for what it was.
Suggestive messages that you thought was the goal was to try to set you up for something else.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I'll overrule. You can answer.
No, I am not gay.
Okay. So you're not bisexual and you're not gay. And after being in the DMs for less than 24 hours, you sent nude videos. Is that correct?
I would define it as bi-curious. But no, I wouldn't label it anyway.
Miss, you didn't know Miss Oriani from Adam, isn't that correct when you did that?
She doesn't have a son, but that's neither here nor there. That doesn't even matter. Lana has a son, yes, but as we all know, in 2024, we're in this year, gay people can have children. The first year I watched Lana, she was manically scrolling on a whiteboard. She was. Lana hasn't got her whiteboard with her. Maybe it's not allowed in court. It is a great question, Loki's mom. It is a great question. She is not in fear of MJ. It's literally about her working with another party. Yeah, this is all Lana seeking revenge. That is it. She is seeking revenge. That Melissa does, Ohana? Oh, that's okay. I can't believe Bella is with her. I know. As a gay man, this is fascinating. You have to tell me what you think, Brantley. How would you feel if a straight man started a conversation with you and under 24 hours to send you nudes? Lana and MJ originally met on Miss Mez's. Lana's name was Honey Badger. Very interesting. Huh. And you know who created the so-called monster? Actually, by exposing her, was no other than Crafton, who is now a supposed good friend of this woman after she got met up with his ex-wife and got her laptops. And his laptops and all. Some of the work she's done in certain cases, I do not agree with her on the Idaho case at all. I don't believe she should be selling Brian Koberger as a pimp hoodies. That is ridiculous. I wouldn't doubt it, to be honest. They're great friends with folks on the internet, especially send pictures. Use your brain, people. It would be a little strange, but I take them. Yeah, Zan, yeah.
That is correct, but I am a sapiosexual, and you did, at the time, stimulate me with your knowledge on the Watts case, and it did intrigue me, and that is what initially drew me in.
At the time that you were a sapiosexual who was stimulated by my brains, and were you in any non-disclosure agreements at that time?
Stimulated by my brains. No. People that were completely on Watts Island were fascinated with the idea that you were in contact. No, but I can grab it, Megan. That is it. You were somebody that was supposedly in contact with Chris, with the Watts, and people wanted what you had. Stimulated by my brains. Well, Lana was often flirting with straight women.
No, I was not.
Were you a part of a Patreon group on YouTube?
That's a good question. Let me see. I don't know. To touch closely or sexually, maybe we're spelling it wrong. I guess it just means that you're more attracted to, I don't know, somebody could answer that maybe. I have no idea, to be honest. I don't even want to guess. Huh? Mike? Oh, that's what it was. Sapio. Means that a person is sexually attracted to highly intelligent people, so much so that they consider it to be the most important trait in a partner. It's a relatively new word that has become more popular in recent years. Okay. So, of course, that made Lana, she just loved that. The videos are still up, J.A. They are still up. I actually have a few of them.
I do not know the exact month that I joined a Patreon. I may not have been at that point. I'm not exactly sure.
And that Patreon group would be Unmasked with Vanessa. Isn't that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. So prior to sending Miss Oriani unsolicited nudes, you were in a Patreon paying membership group with Vanessa. Isn't that correct?
That is correct.
And you also...
So a few of the names you're going to hear repeatedly are that Vanessa name, James, Unmasked, and Vanessa already has a lifetime restraining order against Lana, which has not prevented her from anything. James has an upcoming hearing against Lana, and that is the only reason Lana, in my opinion, is dragging Melissa in here. She is fishing for information against people that she already has a lifetime restraining order against her from. Now, I believe she is self-representing. Well, there you go, no one, you know. I'm sure Lana's turned on by her own brain.
We're contacted by James to join this group. Isn't that correct?
And there's the James name.
Me and James have a friendship.
So they are the founders of, yes, Mandy, yep. They are the founders of Unmasked. Well, Vanessa is. And Vanessa and them, they did fantastic work on the Unmasking Nicole Kessinger series. So they were very, I guess the Wasp case, if you can say, took them higher. I heard that with her upcoming criminal trial, she does have a lawyer. Yes. It is her. It is her. Father Snuckles, you know him. It is her. Oh, blessed be. No, it's not morbid, Summy. No.
That's not what I asked, Miss Unresponsive. The question was,
Ask it again.
Lynn is absolutely the creator that did all the legwork on this. That's why I waited until I had her permission, because I'm sure it cost her money, time. But Lynn is also a victim of Lana's. Lana used to call her the Breeze. Lana did horrific things to Lynn. Lynn was also at one point with, I believe, Unmasked, and then not with them. It was a lot. It was a whole lot. But Lynn, I'll drop her channel link for all of you. Show her some support. Give her thumbs up on all this. Checkmate Humanity, also Disorder in the Court. Thank you very much, Sherry. Lynn has kept exposing Lana. Lynn does a fantastic job. She's a very educated woman, and she deserves all the credit in the world for what she did here and the work she did here, which is why I respectfully waited until permission was given to go ahead and play these videos. And I did offer, oh, never mind. Hey, October always.
Mr. James asked you to join the Patreon group and sent you the link. Isn't that correct?
I don't know if he specifically sent me the link. We had a friendship, and it may have come up at one point in the friendship.
Okay, so you were friends with Mr. before April and May of 2021?
I don't know specific dates, but I had been friends with him and spoke to him like for a couple of months before that. That's what I know.
A couple of months before that, isn't that correct? Okay.
I believe so.
And you weren't in a non-disclosure agreement with them yet?
No.
When did you get into that non-disclosure agreement?
I believe it was June.
June?
Mm-hmm.
Of 2021, isn't that correct?
I believe so.
Okay.
I'd have to go and check.
Okay. Now, Miss, isn't it true? Let me ask you this. In June of 2021, when you signed this NDA with James, how did he present himself to you? Why would you be getting into an NDA with a James?
Objection. Relevancy.
What's the relevance?
Again, you're.
They're two different channels, same owners. She does still use that channel, yes. I'll post both channels after. I'll put them in the about section, update them. The worst thing that happened with Lana was when people start sharing her channel because the body came from Idaho without looking into her. Yeah, even that guy that paints his face like a clown has been, you know, given Lana all types of credit.
Your Honor, I'm going to show a prior relationship as to the purpose of what Ms. reaching out to me in the beginning, which is, I'm just laying the relationship foundation.
No, this is a fishing expedition because you have a criminal case pending against you for charges with James, and you were trying to get information.
Your Honor, now
case.
that is irrelevant.
Hold on. Are you going to tie in?
Oh, yes, Your Honor.
Miss?
We have a long.
Yes, 100%.
We have a long history together. I respect Lynn a lot.
So,
Okay. I mean, let's get there though. Okay. So I'll overrule. Go ahead.
You'll have to repeat the question.
Yes. Why were you entering into an NDA?
Hey, Katie.
someone that you didn't know.
I did know him.
Okay, so you did know him. So was he presented himself as what to you as to why you would get into a non-disclosure agreement?
I didn't get into an NDA with James. I don't have an NDA with James.
Okay.
Okay, so you didn't have an NDA with James. Was this NDA presented to you by James for Unmasked?
I also do not feel I cannot talk about the NDA because it's an NDA and I can't get into those specifics because then I'm at a liability right now.
I believe that in a court setting, Your
bound
Honor,
by
would that be
the-
trumped?
It depends. I don't have the NDA.
And that right there, my friends, is what Lana wants. Lana wants to know about this NDA. Lana used revenge on her, while Lana says MJ wanted to damage her reputation. Lana's reputation was damaged before the RP was used. Yeah, sneaky, sneaky. Oh, Jay Renee, by the end of this, girl, you were going to be so annoyed this judge does not speak up enough. It was horrible. Horrible. And I want to remind you all, this is Lana seeking a restraining order against Melissa. Does this sound like somebody who needs a restraining order? They split Lee over differences against another person involved in Unmasked. I don't know. It's a whole thing, but it's a whole long thing. There's so much outline in this. Oh, I agree on popular opinion. Sucks. There's so much that outlines all of this that we could visit. Maybe we should have visited that first. But at some point, we'll interject with all of that, the things that outline, because there's a lot. There is a lot.
See in front of me. I don't know what.
I'm not asking about the. I'm not asking her to divulge information from the NDA. I'm asking for information on who presented her with the NDA to, and the reason that she signed it.
By the person with the NDA. I cannot get into these specifics. It puts me at a liability.
She laughs.
At some point, you entered into a non-disclosure agreement.
Correct.
With
facts.
You can't talk about unmasked.
Only only about cases that there cannot be. If we discuss cases that I cannot take information about cases and go live about it on my channel and steal information, anything like that.
Okay, so that's what the NDA was about, that you can't talk about
Good morning.
on your channels.
So that's all the NDA is. But Lana wants it. Lana believes the NDA was set up to set Lana up. That's what Lana believes. Good morning, Jones, and that it is not true. It is exactly what Melissa said. If Unmasked spoke about case information, Melissa was not allowed to go and take that information to her channel first. That's it. Hey, Earth. Good morning. This is Second Chance. Good morning. It is insane. All of it. Sarasaurus. Good morning.
Right. So like if we're discussing a case in private and they give me, like information, like, so it's like an inside information about a case, I then can't steal that information and use it on my own channel before they have a chance to use it on theirs or something like that.
All right. Thank you.
And this NDA was presented to you by Rocket Lawyer. You got an email for it?
I'd have to check. It's been years.
We can wait if you want to go ahead and refer to your notes.
The reason Lana is asking that Rocket Lawyer, if that was the name of the email address, is because while all of this was going on and there were a panel going on saying that Lana was a sexual predator, at that same time, a channel, not a troll account called Rocket Man commented in the chat, and it was connected to a sexual video. To this day, nobody knows who Rocket Man was, but they know very few that had that video. And that was used against Lana, saying Lana was Rocket Man. So that is why Lana is asking. And that's how I felt, Brickhouse, and I felt that way then. And then Lana did become that predator. But at that time, which is why I went on the panel. So I'm like, this is a very heavy accusation that you guys are putting on this woman. I felt bad for her. I did. I felt very bad for her at that time. And then it just drove Lana nuts for years. For years. I mean, here we are.
No, I don't have it in my notes. I'd have to pull it up.
Can you recall right now who presented you with the NDA?
Who presented me with the NDA? It was emailed to me.
Through an email?
Yeah, it was through an email.
If you can't recall, just say you can't recall.
I'll say this. This judge, I think this judge is like I think this judge might be part of this community. She is a drama lover because she allowed this to go on for so long. There's no way this lady does not enjoy this. I agree. This case should have been completed in a couple hours, not several days, 14 hours. But they're not the only two that had that video, Ohana. They're not the only two. Looks like the person in the back is the cheerleader was not only off his family, but has some kind of influence in complete strangers' lives. One man was the foundation for so much crap. Good morning, Mr. Predicto. Right. I think she was enjoying it.
I can't recall.
Miss, were you under the impression that James was the business manager of Vanessa Walsh's YouTube channel?
You know it, Mike.
Not officially.
Did Mr. present himself ever to you in communication with you that he was the business manager of Vanessa Walsh and Unmasked?
I can't recall.
Excuse me?
She said she
I can't recall.
You can't recall? Would it help for you to refresh your memory by looking at messages between you guys?
No.
No. She said no.
Okay. Now, you said that this happened in June of 2021. Isn't that correct?
I believe so.
Okay. And did you consult with your friends here, Miss and Mr. As you were in contact with them a couple months before you signed this NDA, as you said? Did you consult with them before you?
So you don't think she went unhinged because she got busted spreading news? Okay, so there is this part of it that was missing. You just reminded me. When Melissa found out who the other woman was that Lana was speaking with, which was Allie, Melissa went to Allie, I guess, to say to her, like, hey, you're talking to Lana, so was I, type of thing. And which one calls response? Thank you, Ghost. Which one calls response? Allie's response was, it's not like I haven't seen your boobs or anything. So at that point, Melissa found out that Lana did share, at the very least, a photo of her breast to Allie. Anybody who was around Lana at that time knows that she was she was such a sexual being. Everything was sexual. She was overly flirty with everybody. It was very weird. So yes, you were right. She did at that point share with Allie a photo of Melissa's boobs. Later on, she actually shows a woman's entire vagina on here. I remember MJ saying in her channel once that only Lana could have done that because only she had the material. Lana's saying otherwise. I don't know, but I do trust her. Oh, she also shared her news in the mod chat. So she was sharing her news already. And I know at that time she did threaten Melissa that if Melissa did anything that she would share them. So she was already sharing them.
Contacted and sent that nude video to Miss Oriani?
I said I was in contact with James, first of all. And was I in contact? Repeat the question.
The question was, did you consult with your new friends, James and Vanessa, as you stated in testimony 15 minutes ago, that you were in contact with them a couple months prior to ever reaching out to Miss Oriani? So did you consult with them prior to sending messages to Miss Oriani that consisted of an unsolicited nude video?
An unsolicited. So Bella is Bedtime Stories with Bella. She was the co-host and friend of Sav Girl for a very long time before she latched on to Lana. And Lana better be careful because I seen her trying to latch on to JLR. So you guys go ahead and do with that what you will. But that is who she is. She is in the background. She's an animated cheerleader for Lana. She helps Lana out. I don't think she should be allowed to do that, but this case opened my eyes on Lana. Before this case, I only knew Lana via TC World. Oh, there is so much you don't know then. Instigating, provoking, most of it. She was. I actually have videos on that. Everyone knows not to send news online. It cannot feel badly with the person that's being exposed anymore. Bella is her fiance at one point, then she's her girlfriend at another. That is a leading question. She spoke to them beforehand, but probably not about right. Do you think she but Lana wants it, in Lana's mind, she believes that Melissa was set to do this with this sole purpose. Oh, JR also says that, yeah, you're right. She's not gonna say I knew something was up with her.
So no, and I didn't say them. I said James. I said I had spoken to James.
Oh, there's so many second.
Well, we'll let the record reflect that when we get the testimony.
We did not speak about you.
Wow. What an
and that was in June of 2021. At the
hey,
beginning or the end?
I do not recall the specific date.
Okay. Well, Miss
Operation Takedown, Lana, who was nobody.
Did you send James nude images of yourself, since that's what you do after you consult people with talking about cases?
Objection.
Okay, that's argumentative.
No problem. I'll strike that.
Are there anybody in here not familiar with Shazam? Put a 2 in the chat if you're not familiar. Wow, a lot of yous aren't familiar. All right, so here. This is just a snippet. Just a snippet of who and what Lana was.
Hey guys, it's me, Shazam. It's Friday night. I'm just getting ready for my Tinder date. Me and Chris decided that we're gonna do this whole open marriage thing. So I got a new lifestyle membership, and
Chris, meaning Chris Watts, she is pretending to be Shanann, and that's why her name is Shazam. And I mean, she made jokes about the kids slinging, what was that stuff? Whatever, you get the point. So this is your big 40K true crime creator right here. This is your reputable true crime creator right here.
I'm just really excited to explore it, I think, a little bit. But with it being such like a long week with the election. Hey Sharon, oh my God. Hey, I know somebody reported the cream of some young guy. I can't even believe it. It must have been that shitty of a guy. Like, who would ever report the cream of some young guy?
This is after Shanann, Bella, Cece, and Nico had their lives taken from them.
Anyways, guys, I just it's been a long week. Like I said, I'm just gonna let loose. I think I'm gonna adopt a child. I just got so many amazing ideas for 2021. I'm just really looking forward to, reinventing myself, getting out of my comfort zone. Thanks, guys.
That's just a little bit. That's just a little bit of what she did as Shazam. Of course, there's much, much more. Selling Thrive. That's what she might, that the kids were selling. Yes, she said the kids were selling the Thrive patches at school for her. They were slinging Thrive for her. This is when she was in Facebook groups She's always stood by Chris Watts, pretty much. I mean, at one point, she said she wanted to S his D. So there's that. She also sent a Valentine's card to Chris, signed by the girls, the deceased girls. Yes, it's horrific.
Miss, what screen names does Mr. by?
I do not know.
Well, you had to communicate with him. So how would you guys communicate? Phone, text, email, Facebook Messenger app?
Facebook Messenger.
And what was the name that he communicated with you?
He goes by.
Now, as far as her dressing her son up as Bella, that could be argued because she claims that her son was dressed up as pet detective. So I don't know for sure what she was doing with that. I don't know. I don't know. I know she gave a lot of excuses through Kim and Crafton as to what she was doing, claiming that it was Halloween time and she wasn't mocking Shanann and blah, blah, but she was. And after she was called out for it, she actually continued to sign off her shows as Shazam. Yeah. Pretty freaking gross.
Hold on 1 second. James.
And were there any other names, alt accounts that he would use to communicate with you?
No. Alt accounts he would use to communicate with me?
Yes.
No, I would speak to him under his J-Man account.
Were you aware that they had another channel called DTOS?
No.
Yeah, I'm curious about that.
Do you know who the owner?
Who is the owner of DTOS? Was that out in you as DTOS?
Of DTOS is?
No.
Okay.
We're all curious about that.
And how did you say that you communicated with Mr.
Asked and answered.
Facebook Messenger? Is that the only communication that you had through Facebook Messenger?
Yes.
Okay. So no phone calls?
Correct.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
December, B-Fam. She did do the same thing.
Now, do you recall May?
Why is she raising her hand there? Look at this.
Do you recall
What was that? What was that?
May 22nd,
Absolutely.
2021? Well, let me rephrase this. You and Miss Oriani had consensual texting. Is that what?
When she says you and Miss Oriani, she is speaking of herself. Okay? She's speaking of herself. You and Miss Oriani, like herself. This is so bizarre.
You call it sexting?
Were you sexting?
Correct.
For 11 days?
Miss Oriani.
That is correct.
Okay. And now, did Miss Oriani send you any nude images of herself?
Thank God, probably not.
No.
And isn't it true when you sent Miss Oriani your nude video unsolicited that Miss Oriani said she could not do that in this place?
I don't know. I don't know. This is so bizarre, isn't it? She does do it often, Miss Liverbird. She would do it on her shows, yes. She's trying to be like this, maybe she's like disconnected from herself, so she calls herself, I don't know, third part. I don't know. It's bizarre. It's all bizarre.
That she could not partake in that type of exchanging and or like, what are you doing type of thing? Did she not caution you?
No, that is not what took place.
Okay.
She actually has people telling her she should be a lawyer. If that's not scary, you tell me what is.
So then why would Miss Oriani suggest to you, are you familiar with the Vanish mode of the app?
Yes.
And didn't Miss Oriani suggest that to you if you're going to be sending anything like that?
Oh, yes.
And so that was to protect, what is Vanish mode? Is it when you send something, it then disappears after the person sees it, so therefore they cannot redistribute that?
So there's no evidence. Yep.
So there would be no evidence of you sending your nudes. Isn't that correct?
Or any evidence of your responses. Correct.
So if your testimony just a couple minutes ago was that Miss Oriani sent you no nude images, so Miss Oriani wasn't protecting her nudes, was she?
Or your responses.
The question was Miss Oriani protecting her nudes?
I already testified you never sent any nudes.
Okay, so she wasn't trying to protect herself. She was trying to protect you. Isn't that true, Miss Jade? Melissa Jade.
Because you are my hero. I was trying to protect you. Why is she saying she? She was trying to protect you, wasn't she? Listen, I'm telling you, the judge loves this shit. There's no doubt in my mind.
Hey, Miss.
No.
Look at Bob on the
That
back.
your testimony is that she would just offer up Vanish mode for her purposes of what, Miss Jade?
We would speak both Vanish mode and regular. We would alternate between both. That's why you will see continuous messages in our Facebook. There are both stored messages and both Vanish mode messages.
And what was the purpose that Miss Oriani introduced Vanish mode?
I didn't even know Vanish mode existed before you introduced it to me.
Exactly. So did she introduce it for herself or for you?
Well, at the time, I thought because you were more of a public figure, I thought you were just being smart about it, as anybody would who was talking sexually. But, you know, now
so Miss Oriani was protecting her never sent solicited nudes.
Oh,
it wasn't just about nudes. You were talking in a very graphic sexual way. So you're protecting those messages no matter what. They don't just have to be nudes.
Okay, so your testimony here is that Miss Oriani never talked sexual in the regular DMs with you?
You did somewhat, yeah.
So then what was Vanish mode for if Miss Oriani...
Well, JR was, he's not allowed to file anymore. So yeah, they could if they wanted to. Why did the crazy psychos like to represent themselves in courts? Because she believes she's so smart.
Was talking to you sexually in the regular DMs. What would be Vanish mode for, Miss?
The majority of it took place in Vanish mode. The majority of the sexting took place.
We're going to move on. Now, after 11 days of speaking with you about nothing to do with case, Miss Oriani told you that she could no longer have any type of sexting type of talks with you. Isn't that true on Friday?
Second. Give me 1 second, guys. I'll let this run, but I'm going to be silent for a minute.
May 21st of 2021.
After a sexting conversation, you ended it off with, and then I'd have to tell you that I could no longer engage with this because I found somebody that I'm really, really into, and I'd feel guilty if I continued this. And I told her I was really happy for her, and I'd support that decision, and I'd respect it.
So Miss Oriani told you that she could no longer be in a sexting and that texting relationship, and that you said you were really happy for her because she was choosing to be exclusive and needed to end that type of talk. Isn't that correct?
Yeah.
And you just said that you were happy for her. Is that correct?
You didn't use the word exclusive. You said that you found somebody that you were really into and that you wanted to see where it could go. And I told you that I was happy for you because if you look at our messages, you were sending me photos
Your Honor,
of
unresponsive. The question was, did Miss Oriani...
All right, so I know many of you are probably like, wait, what the hell? So what they're saying here is when Lana said to her, like, oh, I don't want to keep doing this, I found somebody I want to be more serious with, that was another creator. So there's a third creator involved. That creator was familiar with Melissa. Now, it fluctuates. Some people say they're best friends. At the time, somebody else was saying, no, we're not even that good of friends. It was a whole weird thing. But they all came together. And that is why it developed into a sex panel. Because all these women found out that there were, several of them allegedly having similar conversations with Lana. Again, I saw her as a single woman. So, I don't know. Arguing with someone like Lana is pointless. You don't even need to debate her to expose her ignorance. She accomplishes that task on her own. Yeah, she's definitely not a lawyer.
Say that she could no longer participate in sexting because she was moving on and needed to be in an exclusive relationship and she was choosing somebody else.
I think that's essentially what she's saying. She
Okay.
says she doesn't remember you using the word exclusive, but she does remember you conveying.
And that's
that.
all I needed her to answer was no, I don't recall that. Everything else was unresponsive. Who was the person that Miss Oriani told you that she was having an exclusive relationship or going forward to have an exclusive relationship with?
Alex.
Okay. And isn't it true that after Miss Oriani told you this on Friday, May 21st, 2021, that you immediately contacted Miss Alex in the DMs?
That's not exactly, you're missing a part. So no.
You'll have your opportunity to cross-examine yourself. So that is not your testimony. That you did not contact Miss Allie same night in the DMs.
That's not what I said. That's not what I said. You said immediately, and I said there's something that happened.
Okay, how much time lapsed?
You told me to ask her. You told me to go and ask her, right?
Again, Your Honor, the question is, she's not asking me questions here.
The question was how much time elapsed.
Now, what's funny here is that when Melissa responds in a what Lana deems a question and back format, she wants the judge to intercept. But you'll see while Melissa gets to ask Lana questions, Lana does the same damn thing. Lana ran this courtroom, is what she did. This is absolutely insane that this judge allowed her to basically pretend to be the lawyer and the judge. I would have fucked around and been like, so Miss Lynn, I would have referred myself in third person too. It was insane. When this get hyped, oh, you can just imagine what she did to get hyped. So she does it intentionally, Spudler. She knows what she's doing.
From when
the jury too.
From your relationship and when you direct message Miss.
And then when you did
In a couple hours.
a couple hours?
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, within a
So
couple
a couple hours
yeah.
isn't immediate to you. How would you convey a couple hours just so we can know is it soon? What kind of language would you use? Okay. Moving on. Now, when you messaged Miss, didn't you screenshot and send her every single message between me and you?
No.
Okay. And did Miss, I guess, let me ask you this. What was your purpose for messaging Miss?
One, you knew me and Allie were really good friends. So when you told me that you were in an exclusive relationship with Allie, yes, it was really messed up because you were messing around with me at the same time. And you
just admit right here that I said I was in an exclusive relationship
I'm
with her. Is
trying
that
to
correct?
answer, yet she's not letting me
Okay.
answer.
Go on.
You literally told me to go. I didn't believe you, honestly. You told me to go and ask her. But then also I felt obligated as her friend because you put me in a situation where I was essentially screwing her over because I didn't know that you guys were in a relationship and then I was messing around with you.
So who told you that me and Allie were in an exclusive relationship? That's not what Miss Oriani said to you. She said that she was going to be in. She was moving forward and wanted to be in an exclusive wanted to be in an exclusive relationship. So you felt it was your duty, right, Miss Jade, to contact Miss because you were a scorned woman. Isn't that correct? And you didn't want Miss Oriani to be happy. You wanted to ruin that relationship. Isn't that correct?
It's not correct.
Okay, perfect. Then what was the motive to go and tell this to Allie and share every single message between us that you could possibly screenshot that wasn't taken from Vanish mode because it wasn't there? What was the motive? You just said you weren't a scorned woman, and I believe that. So what was the motive?
I personally think she felt like Lana was cheating on Ellie. That's why she said, you put me in a shitty position. It was a lot. It was a lot as it unfolded.
There was an ulterior motive when you messaged Miss Oriani the first time, wasn't there, Miss Jade?
No.
What do you guys think the reason was for messaging her? She probably, I really didn't believe her, to be honest, because, here Melissa and Allie are supposed to be good friends, but neither of the other knew that they were speaking to Lana in this format. I don't know. The whole thing's bizarre.
Miss Jade, so you weren't upset that Miss Oriani ended things, yet you go straight to the person she is dating and wants to be in an exclusive relationship with, right? And not only do you send her every message, Miss asks you to please keep this private, did she not? Because not openly bisexual or gay, isn't that true?
Objection, hearsay.
I'm asking you to answer it. It's not hearsay. Objection, this is not hearsay.
I'll overrule, you can answer.
I don't recall what Allie said.
Allie told you that she was in love with Miss Oriani, didn't she?
No.
And that she was falling in love with Miss Oriani, didn't she?
No, that's what you said.
So Miss told you what? Then I just asked the question, what did Miss tell you? To keep this private? Do not put my business out on the street. I am not an openly gay woman. I am not an openly bisexual woman. Isn't that what she told you, Miss Jade?
No.
Then I'm asking you, what did she tell you, Miss Jade?
When? There is like so
when
many
you messaged her 2 hours after I told you this. Moving on. The court's
wow, it's messed up.
Your Honor, we're going to move on. I like to strike whatever she's saying. Now, you messaged Miss Erickson, and then that wasn't enough, Miss Jade. You then contacted Natasha Cooper. Isn't that correct?
Natasha Cooper was my friend, yeah.
Natasha Cooper is your friend or was your friend?
Was
your friend. And it didn't stop there with contacting Natasha Cooper, who has a true crime drama Jerry Springer channel. Isn't that correct?
And that is exactly how that went. For whatever reason, it did get brought out on Natasha Cooper's. When she went to Natasha as a friend, Natasha said, oh my gosh, there's somebody else going through this. And I believe the emotions of the environment at the time plays a part in that. Because it did get so blown out of proportion at that time, at that point in time. Oh, she was all over the chat, Black Cat. All over the chat.
At the time, she was true crime and dabbled in drama, yes.
She had like a Jerry Springer channel, isn't that correct?
Well, yeah, she definitely evolved into Jerry Springer.
Okay. And so you went to her, you went to Kraft and Barnes, is that correct? You went to Just Larry, isn't that correct? You went to Seeking the Truth with Dave. Isn't that correct?
Are you saying yes?
She's not giving me a chance to say anything.
Oh, right.
Okay. I'm sorry. I thought you were saying. That's right. It's go ahead and speak.
She thought you're nodding yes, but I don't know what your response is.
I went to people that I was friends with and had communications because things were already getting public. So I spoke to people within the few days that things were getting leaked.
So if all of you recall, I recall it was actually just Larry that first said something. Do you guys recall that? Just Larry said there's a situation with one of his moderators and Lana. Anybody else recall it that way? Pretty much Spudler, but her being a player led to her being labeled a sexual predator. You remember that? So he was the first to like imply something was going on because he stated, yep, on the glares. Yep, Delaney, that is right. That is right. Oh my goodness, what a flashback in time. And said like he won't get into further details, but it's really bad. And that's when the foundation was laid. That's when it all got to what it got to. It was pretty wild.
That I already spoke to privately. I'm allowed to have friends and I'm allowed to communicate what I'm going through.
You have internal thing. It was Barbie doll.
Really messed up time.
I thought you were just having fun, Miss Jade.
Oh, it was supposed to be just fun.
Oh.
And then I had somebody who was gaslighting and sharing my nudes. You want to know what
Your
Allie
Honor,
told me?
I'm unresponsive.
Allie told me that you
asked
shared
her
my
what she was
nudes.
going through.
I asked her what she was going through.
That's
yeah.
what she said. That's what she was going through. That's her response.
Okay. That's your response. Perfect. So 2 hours after Miss Oriani tells you that she wants.
She's definitely a predator for sure. Wouldn't tell us who it was. Oh, so that was all like kept secret. Okay. But yeah, it was definitely, she's definitely a predator. Yeah.
To be exclusive with somebody else that she was talking to. You go to her, then you go to, like we said, Kraft and Barnes, Seeking the Truth with Dave, Natasha Cooper, Just Larry. These are all YouTube creators, are they not? Do they have YouTube channels?
Ones are YouTube creators, yes.
I couldn't hear you. What?
The ones you named are YouTube creators, yes.
Perfect. Thank you. And they have YouTube channels, right? And they're drama channels.
Larry and Dave are not drama channels, and Larry doesn't even exist anymore on YouTube. You're talking about years ago.
I'm laying foundation as to why you came for me, Miss Jade. So if it was years ago and it's still happening, you're absolutely right. I'm showing a pattern.
I found out you shared my nudes, and I confided in what were my friends.
Now, you said we were in vanish mode and that stuff disappears. Isn't that correct, Miss Jade?
Yeah, but luckily you shared them elsewhere, and I have that documented.
So you're saying, Miss Jade, that nudes that you shared in vanish mode were shared publicly?
Oh no,
For
you
the
shared
purpose
it
to
with
humiliate
Allie.
you?
That you shared it with Allie, and that's what Allie told me. Remember when you asked a moment ago, what did Allie say when I went to her? She said, it's not like I haven't seen your tits or anything. That's what her exact words were.
Objection, hearsay.
Now she wants to say objection, hearsay. One thing you'll, if you recall, Melissa mentioned that Lana was sharing other women's photos with her. So, I mean, you got to keep that in mind too. This is who and what Lana is. She is nasty. I mean, she's just not a good person. She's a very flirtatious, sexually driven. I know, as mentioned by somebody earlier, people would get uncomfortable with Lana when she come into a chat box because everything was sexual with her. It was endless. It was endless. It was just gross. She was gross all around.
Oh,
Overruled. Let's keep going.
Okay. Miss, after you contacted Natasha Cooper on Monday, May 25th, Natasha Cooper was set to be on Miss Oriani's YouTube channel to partake in the mock trial. Isn't that correct?
sounds right.
Mm-hmm. And you called up Natasha Cooper to tell her that you no longer had anything to do with Miss Oriani, and that's when you divulged all this stuff, and you put Allie and Miss Oriani's business and your own on blast to her. Isn't that correct?
That is not fully how that played out now.
Okay. And then at that time, Natasha Cooper had called Miss a bitch in May, didn't she? Vanessa,
I don't recall that.
you don't recall that in April?
I have no idea years
Okay.
ago what month.
Not
Natasha
probably, you
may
don't
have
recall.
called.
You don't recall Mr. messaging Natasha Cooper and putting it out there that we're going to come for you if you try to, you don't recall this is your friend. You told us that Natasha Cooper is your friend. You're on her panel. You don't recall Natasha Cooper going live about being threatened by Mr.
Natasha would go live 3 times a day. No, I don't recall.
So you don't recall
what
that?
happened that day. No.
Okay, that's your testament that you don't recall. Now you just said there was a panel on May 27th, 2021, where you got up on panel and you told.
Here's something to keep in mind. This is the best way to describe Lana. Lana was kicked out of a strip club for being too sexual. Okay, that's a good way to say it. Is this even a real judge? How is she allowing this nonsense to play out? She must get paid by the hour. It is absolutely ridiculous what this judge allows. It's insanity. Should not be allowed.
Thousands of people that Miss Oriani was a sexual predator. Isn't that correct?
I never used the word sexual predator.
Do you want to be refresher? We'll play the clips of what you said on the panel.
Did you submit it?
I didn't realize that you were going to be lying here, Miss Jade. So, if Your Honor, I'm going to need a minute and fire this up to.
She can impeach you with it.
And guess what? Lana never fires it up. Lana never comes with the proof because it was never stated. Everything Lana says she'll get back to, she never gets back to. I got the
Has she
hiccups. I was
submitted
snowing.
evidence?
She can use evidence, introduce evidence for impeachment purposes that wasn't previously submitted based on your response. So
I called you a sexual predator on that?
Yes, and that you said I had 16 or more victims.
The word I called you a sexual predator.
Yes, ma'am. This is not your
Okay.
time to ask me questions, but ma'am, it's your testimony here. You said that you did not call me a sexual predator in front of
Other people
thousands
called you
live
sexual
on a
predator.
YouTube broadcast.
I
On
know
May
you were
27th, 2021, after sexting with me for 11 days, you felt the need to get on a panel and tell the world that I had sexually harassed over 16 people and that and that you were a victim of mine.
Hold on, Ms. Rowney. Do you recall this panel?
Oh, yes, I recall
Do
the
you
panel.
remember what you said about Miss Oriani?
I said the truth that she shared my nudes, but there were multiple people on the panel and I was being told other things as well. And so I don't know what the other
Objection,
people's
we're asking what
parts
she
were.
said, not what other people told her.
Right,
And-
I'm just
and
asking
my
what you
part-
said.
Here's
What I said was true, and I
Hold
do
on.
not ever recall calling you a sexual predator. I know other people called you a sexual predator.
Okay, so you deny using that term.
I don't ever recall using the term sexual predator. No.
Your Honor, that I'm going to ask for a recess to fire this up and the only way that I can impeach this material is to play these
Okay,
clips.
you can fire it up.
Oh, what's
But
the relevance here?
listen-
Like, where are we going with this?
Listen,
How is this
I know
proving
you're laying
stalking?
a foundation that she did these things to you, but you understand I can't give you a protection order. Even if I find she said something
Oh, I know that.
inappropriately, I hope you're getting to more
I
recent
am.
things,
I'm trying, Your
because
Honor.
protection orders aren't issued to punish people for things they might have done to you in the past. It's whether she's continually contacting you, stalking you
Absolutely.
now. And that's what we need to move on, because I can't do this all day because you
And she's not. Melissa's not bothering with Lana in the current time. She hasn't bothered with Lana. She wants nothing to do with Lana. But the judge says all of this and then continues to allow it to go on in the same circus act that you see here today. It's unbelievable.
you started with March and we've only gotten into May of 2021.
Yeah, this is
we've been almost going for an hour, and I've got 5 other cases set today. So I just want you to understand that I can't. You may prove that she slandered you, defamed you 2 years ago.
That's not. This isn't slander, Your Honor. This is humiliation.
I understand that.
Okay, and that's what I'm trying to prove here with a menacing stalking. Shows, and I'm laying that foundation to show that it happened in 2021 with a purpose and a plan with other people, and it's been continued to this day.
That she's doing it.
100%.
So does she contact you?
Yes.
When?
She contacts me all the time, because after this whole ordeal happens, when this panel, she then is back in contact with me to apologize and to say that, oh my
God. Last time she contacted you?
When's the last time that she contacted me? She was contacting me by making these videos with people and teaching them how to do this plausible deniability.
The answer is 2021. That is the answer. The last time anybody acknowledged anything to do with Lana was 2021. Yes, please hit the thumbs up. Thank you, Jane.
When was the last time
that she contacted me? She contacted people that I worked with.
Oh my goodness.
No. Just 2 months ago.
Okay, because those are the things you need.
Yes, I'm trying to lay
that she's talking to other people about you behind your back.
No, that's not it. I don't care about that.
Or to stop that.
Who's having connection to this case as a claim to fame, NS? There's nothing fame about this. This is embarrassing. If you're referring to me saying I was involved in this, well, that was my claim to why I'm covering it today. After somebody else had, the audacity to ask me why I was covering it and implying it was for other reasons. But there's no fame involved in this. This is embarrassment. Right, because it doesn't exist. She's full of shit.
I'm not trying to
pretend. She has to be contacting you directly, doing things directly to you. That's what I think you're missing, is that.
I'm about to show that, Your Honor. I just have to lay a foundation as to why this woman would do it. That's what I'm trying to show.
I understand that, but I can't have 5 hours of that.
Okay, then we get the point of why she would do something so that we can move on to something more recent. Did I lay enough foundation to show that this woman clearly
well, you haven't testified yet, but I understand.
She says, I can't do this for 5 hours, but allows it to go for 14 hours. Oh, yeah, Jason. Right at the very start. Right. What kind of judge doesn't take control of the courtroom? This is all insanity. Right. It's not a defamation. It's not harassment. It is simply a restraining order that is not warranted or needed. Hey, Gladys, 14 hours. 14 hours. She's just setting the foundation. The foundation is non-existent. This was December, it's right here on the screen, December 5th. Oh, Jake Hells. And you know what? Moderator's right. She does all this, and then she brings it back to her YouTube channel where she has her echo chamber telling her how wonderful she is. She titles it with Idaho 4 to get the views in. And then it's all about her self-praising herself, not realizing the insanity that is really being shown. And somehow the chat is telling her, yay, you should be a lawyer. Would you want her representing you?
And these things happened back in 2021.
2020,
why I need to issue a protection order today.
And it was because of who she was doing this with and currently still does this with, because they won't stop. And she's directly involved 100%.
She's insane.
And I'm getting there. I have everything. I'm going in my order. If you want me to skip to, the stuff that just happened where she was.
If you want to skip to 2023, that would be great. It's the end of 2023.
I have a protection order against Valicia Berry, and she directly worked with Valicia Berry so that Valicia Berry would be plausible deniability. I can show you how it all laid out. I have the documentation. That's what we're getting into, what happened recently, which was in 2023. We are in 2023. This has not stopped, Your Honor. And it's not going to stop until they try to put me in jail.
Okay, so if you notice, there's a few things to take away here. Lana does this thing where she talks really fast in hopes that you don't really catch on to what she's saying, because what she's saying is a bunch of word salad. And if she talks really fast and she just says it with such an anger that you will just believe whatever she's saying, but you're only taking away key things because the way she is speaking is in a circle and it is word salad. That is what Lana does. Also, until they put me in jail. Well, maybe that's because she's facing a criminal charge now, because she didn't know how to stop when a lifetime protection order was placed on her to get her to stop. That is what they wanted her to do. Just stop. With that lifetime protection order, she used that for content. She still continues to harass the person. It is unbelievable. Oh, she's very threatening. She's threatening everybody that's even participating in this right now.
And that, I'm trying to show that.
I understand that, but that's a different kind of lawsuit.
But no. What I'm showing, I need protection from this woman because she goes and they work with other people. Then they try to
see, this is insanity. And the fact that the judge hearing this right here still continues this case hearing is unbelievable for another 9 hours. She is saying they are trying to put me in jail. What is Melissa doing? You want a protection order against Melissa? Oh my goodness. She doesn't, she's unbelievable with her conspiracies.
Try to use other people because, hey, guess what? My hands are tied.
I spent nearly an hour
That's
things that happened 2 years ago. Okay. And I'm telling you.
And I'm laying a pattern. That's what it says for me to do. Lay a pattern. I'm laying a pattern, Your Honor.
All right. You know what? If you want to take a break to find your video, I'm going to do another case in between. Okay.
See? And the judge could have dead it right there and said, listen, if you don't show me proof of what she's done in current time in 2023 to warrant a restraining order, I can't believe it. Well, now she's selling Brian Koberger as a pimp hoodies. There's 4 kids that are deceased. And that's what she's selling. That is unbelievable to me. But for whatever reason, people just, they buy it. I don't get it. I don't get it. You know, I heard another creator say the other day that a family member of a crime right now that is considered a high-profile crime, a lot of YouTubers are speaking about it, that a family member that has came forward as the family member is clout chasing. As this creator has covered this case of people she doesn't know for over 2 weeks straight, she has the nerve to say a relative of the deceased is clout chasing. That is just a little bit of the entitlement that some of these creators have over these cases. Clout chasing. You, a stranger, talking about it every day for 2 weeks is what? But a family member, a relative, a loved one of the deceased comes forward and they're clout chasing? Blows my mind.
Your Honor, how do I get on your guys' Wi-Fi?
It's AT&T Wi-Fi.
Okay, just making sure. All right. I think this will pick up.
She's all out of breath. Look at her cheerleader back here. They feel like they're you know, the sniff. Yeah, I mean, it is cold out though. I'll give her that. That outfit though, very professional for the courtroom. The vampire in the back, the hype man in the back. Let me get that Wi-Fi, Judge. Yeah. I wasn't gonna say it, Howie.
for purposes of record, we are now back on the record.
Her blazer's missing sleeves.
Where
It's
we
not
left off,
bedazzled
we
this
were talking
time.
about the panel, about whether Ms. Calderon had called you, actually used the competitor. She denied that, so you were looking for an audio clip to play.
Well, damn.
Correct.
Correct? Okay.
Yep. And I went ahead and I'm gonna just pull this up from the actual panel she was on.
Look
And I'm
at her
just trying
back
to
there,
disconnect from my Wi-Fi to get on.
making sure she looks all right. This lady rarely looks her head up. She's like, why did I get chosen for this one today? Yes, Callie. She, believe it or not, I believe she's a little under 50K subscribers. Oh yeah, she's a creator, all right. And matter of fact, she is a creator that stated that she is the Idaho 4. She is the Idaho 4. The entitlement these people get over cases is unbelievable. Ugh.
Onto your guys' Wi-Fi.
Yep. She played these hearings under the title of Idaho 4.
You said it was just the AT&T, correct?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. As that is a
Creator of
loading up,
Havoc is right, Connie. No, and guess what? Nobody can
I
ever
should have
find
taken this
information
with me,
on it.
actually. All right, it says that I'm connected.
Yep.
And
There's
now,
a lot of cases
is it
with
okay just to
YouTubers.
hear it? Do you need to see it?
Hear it.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sorry, I said
It's-
that wrong. You can just play the audio.
Is that allowed? Is she allowed to do that? I noticed that. I don't know if she should be allowed to do that. It should be. It's morally wrong. It's unbelievable. We'll play the other one day too.
Okay. Here we go.
I'm not going to play
This is
all of
straight
this because
from-
it's family game night.
For
But
the record purpose, my YouTube channel, what I did is I did a mock trial of Melissa Jade, and I played it so that we could hear her whole.
see, how is that okay? Your Honor, this woman is harassing me, and I need a protection order because I feel unsafe. And then on the other hand, I did a mock trial of her. I think the judge loves this shit. You can't tell me she doesn't love this shit.
Clips straight from the panel that she was on May 27th, because I actually, me and Melissa Jade talked again and were.
Okay, well, hold on.
Should I use that for my testimony?
Yes.
Okay.
Why don't you
Just play it?
Okay.
Okay.
Tell her what you're playing.
Okay.
Is this the original?
Yeah, it's straight from the original. Yes.
It's playing on your channel. Can I have a copy of this, please? Is this?
Sure, absolutely.
Little
You've actually seen it.
Play it though, okay?
Yeah, I'm good. That's what I'm going to.
Okay.
I mean, we all saw her use her sleeves to wipe her snots, right? So maybe instead of passing a note, she could pass tissue. Or she uses these court hearings as an ego boost. That's it. So many people said the judge was playing Candy Crush. Very confusing. It's unbelievable. That's not me, Jason. That is Bella's bedtime stories. That was Sav Girl's right hand for a very long time. That's because she has their laptop and was in contact with his ex-wife and everything. I'd be embarrassed to play my own. Like, that is one of the reasons I tried to change my content around, because it is embarrassing. The fact that she goes and she plays these audio clips for this judge and her hysteric, crazy, woo manner is unreal. Well, one point she's a girlfriend, then she's a fiance. Bless it. Bless it, bless it.
I'm almost there.
Is there something wrong with you?
Yes.
Is there something wrong with you?
No.
That's what Judge Judy would say. It is ego. She's very egotistical. It should be, Tracy. I'm sure Melissa could have pursued it if she wanted to. Look at her. She's like texting and Lana's the type that watches her own videos back and like laughs at herself.
Sorry, I'm just trying to pull up the original.
That's why you're supposed to be submitted first.
There we go.
It's another creator, KNS.
Testing.
Sorry.
Testing. Because she has no awareness, Kimberly. And believe it or not, she actually has people out here defending her. Simply because of hate. That is it. Defending her. It is. It is. And I think the judge has developed either some fear of Lana or some biasm. We're just waiting.
Welcome.
Is she going to play her the one from the strip club or the one where she is telling everybody that she's marrying the Breeze, aka Lynn? Or, you know, which stream is this going to be? The one where she talks about another creator's vagina? I don't know. Welcome to the Circus Act. Hope you brought some Tylenol. It is bullshit is what it is.
Come back from, and that's, people need to realize that's how serious this stuff goes.
I'm going to put it right when she gets on panel.
So the person speaking there was KK. There was KK, there was YT, Kimberly, who's a wackadoo, Natasha Cooper, Melissa. I believe at some point Lynn came up there. Thank you so much, Connie. It was a whole thing. After it went on for a few hours, like I said originally, I felt bad for Lana. I did. I felt bad for her. Oh, Laura Lee. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And
this is just for the purposes of the record.
Is Nancy selling Brian Koberger's a pimp hoodies too?
This is a live video, and it's at the 7-minute and 17-second mark, and it begins then.
Just want to know the truth behind the sex scandal panel? The truth is that this was...
Who would have thought that our labeling of the sex scandal panel would one day be mentioned in court and recognized by a judge as the sex scandal panel? Only TC side. Then it tried Doug and man. I was shocked. The trial was bullshit. Yep. There's other hearings too.
Or spoken about anything that's ever been said about me by any channel, anywhere, ever. I don't engage in behavior like this. I don't talk bad about people. I don't swear on my channel.
Okay, Miss Jade, whose voice is that?
Can you play it again?
Absolutely.
I mean,
that was KK.
Please, I hope people do take this seriously. And then I know that there's a lot of people that
Kim Kaufman, I believe.
I'm sorry?
Kim Kaufman, I believe.
Kim Kaufman. Okay, so when you took the sex panel, there was Natasha Cooper was on panel, Kimberly was on panel, and Kim Kaufman was on panel. Is that correct?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, and then you came up on panel. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And the voice that we're hearing right now.
See, it's easy to feel bad for Lana until you get to know Lana and the way she operates. Lana does hold people emotionally hostage. She does. She's very threatening and intimidating. As we all know, she sent a fish fillet sandwich to another creator's house told the DoorDash, somehow convinced the DoorDash person to video record it and allow her on the phone. A lot of people wanted that person fired, and I felt bad because I didn't think that person should be fired. They didn't know. You know, they were tricked. But, I mean, she'll just go to any length to get people. Tara, I think she brought up everybody. Saying this first time this judge line have been together in this room. No, this is like their fourth time together in the room.
Now is Kim Kaufman's, isn't that correct?
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
I agree, Loki's mom.
I mean, Melissa, I take you for your word. I don't think that you're doing this for just a view, or I don't think this is.
No, if anybody knows me, they know I am very much against the drama.
This had nothing to do with that. And as far as her saying that this is a setup and all that bullshit, like I said, she ain't relevant enough for somebody to set her ass up. I mean, come on.
All right.
Now, at that time, Lana was not relevant. She was just kind of coming on the scenes, but I will say she was making some waves because there was like a territorial claim over the Watts case. And Lana was starting to pick up traction on the basis that she was in contact with the Watts, you know, firsthand knowledge, firsthand to the case.
Right. There's your first part. Natasha Cooper, she ain't relevant enough for anybody to set her ass up.
And then who was that speaking?
I actually do not know.
Natasha Cooper was sitting in a chair saying, I was not relevant enough to set up.
Oh,
Wasn't it?
That was Natasha. I didn't know the second part. Yeah,
Okay,
Natasha Cooper.
just making-
initially.
Okay, perfect.
Well, it's November 29, 2021. And I think
So this is a live broadcast that I do November 29th, 2021, where I replay for everybody to hear the live broadcast that you said about me. Isn't that correct?
Well, as far as sub numbers go, yeah, sure. But as far as active participants, at one point, Lana, with this whole mock trial and everything, everybody was starting to go to Lana for information with the Watts case. I mean, people believed at that time that she really did have a connection to the family, that she was going to give people exclusive interviews with the family. And so, yeah, while she didn't like get big for what it was worth, she was definitely making progress. I know. Why did she say that? That was funny.
I don't know. I've never listened to the sex panel.
Zero MS.
You've
zero.
never listened to the sex panel that you were on?
No, it's very traumatic for me. This is going to be the first time I've ever heard it.
This is very traumatic for you?
All right, let's.
Yes.
Okay. Just
everybody knows Lana was set up. But who was Lana set up by?
Gives a shit about her to set her up. Like,
Exactly, Natasha. Who gives a shit about me to set me up?
Right. Nobody.
Natasha, you bring up a great point. So
Nobody. She
well,
classed
let's
for
find out who gives a
herself.
shit about me.
Nobody.
seriously, bitch, you set yourself up.
That's what she does the whole time,
You
Katie.
set yourself up. And now you're trying to get out from under it.
No, that ain't gonna happen.
Yes.
Okay. After the sex panel, Natasha Cooper made 30 straight days of videos about you. Is that correct?
That's correct.
About your vagina?
Gross, Lana.
Including my vagina, yep.
Okay.
This is like the freaking Wizard of Oz. That damn house has landed on you. Your feet through here doing this.
Stop it.
What did Lana make 30 straight videos about you in your vagina?
Oh, so gross.
Not straight. But yes.
Okay. Miss Jade, after the sex panel, the day after, you didn't want to go on another broadcast. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And Natasha Cooper made 30 straight days of videos about your vagina and yourself. Is that correct?
Asked and answered.
So that's correct? Miss Oriani and you spoke those 30 days, and Miss Oriani had your back, did she not?
I spoke to you after.
Did Miss
we
Oriani
initially-
have your back? Yes or no?
I don't know what you mean by had my
Did she
back.
support that you were not involved in this sex scandal and that you were actually lied to? Because that's what you told her.
So it's not as black and white as that. There was a period of time where you said you did, and then there was another period of time where you completely flipped. So it's not a straight yes or no answer.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Maybe that's the soul that Elaine's talking to.
So this is the live sex panel, though, we're correct? Here we go.
I don't know. I'm just saying. This is some mess right here. And I'm going to tell y'all, I had no idea the depths of this when I went live to say why I didn't go and do this.
Exactly, Natasha Cooper. You didn't know the depths of this because everybody uses you. Wow!
And that's me commentating on this, correct?
That sounds like you.
Yes, they do. Everybody uses you, Natasha Cooper.
So isn't it true that you use Natasha Cooper's platform of thousands and thousands of people to push your narrative that Lana Oriani was a sexual predator?
That is absolutely not true.
Okay, here we go.
Because you don't check receipts. You go with anything, just like I did a couple episodes ago about, thanks to Delaney bringing it, the goods on a platter for me, about the NK Amp channel. We'll get to that, though. You get used. But who, what, where, why, when, how? Why?
In a part of her channel. I had no idea that when I said, if anybody else is out there,
Yeah, woo.
come forward. I had no idea that I was going to be talking to 16 people.
Woo! Woohoo! You talked to 16 people? You talked to 16 people? So in the courtroom, when we get to ask this question to you, Ms. Cooper, it says here that you talked to 16 people. Who were they? Who messaged you? Alts? Were they alts?
What is an alt account?
An alternative account.
What is?
I can't believe Melissa's even answering any of this. This has zero relevancy to anything that is going on. And the fact the judge is allowing this and woo! And as you can see, she was nuts back then too. She tried getting Natasha to go to court. She tried. Remember at one point, Lana was raising money to help Natasha in her lawsuit. Anybody remember that? Put a 1 in the chat. Freaking nuts.
What does that mean?
An account other than your main one.
Hey, Adam.
So it belongs to somebody?
Oh, yeah.
Somebody has to create the account. It's an alternative account.
Do they say this is my name, or do they make up a name?
It could be both.
Explain how it can be both.
An alternative account can be a backup account. You could have multiple accounts, or it could be an account that you could make anonymously. Both can be true. It depends on what you create it for.
What you use it for. What's your motive behind making it? Isn't that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
I mean, if you just had something to say, why wouldn't you just write your whoever as Melissa Jade or Lana Oriani? Why wouldn't you just write somebody as that account? Why would you need to create a fake account? Isn't that what an alt account is? It's a pretending my name is Mrs. Smith. My name.
Probably because of this right here, Lana. Probably because of this behavior right here. It is not a far-fetched to say people are afraid of you.
Name is Mr. Jones. Right?
Remember, they tried making that a whole mockery. Granny says she's
I don't really
afraid of
understand the
her.
question you're asking.
Yeah,
My
'cause you're
question is
nuts.
what is an alt account? You said it was
Right.
It's both. How can an alt account be both your real account and your fake account?
Oh my goodness.
I never said fake account. It's an alternative account.
Well, what does the word alternative mean to you, Miss Jade?
A backup, damn it.
An account that's alternate to your main account. Now, if you use that to be anonymous or you use it as a backup,
So people
I don't
know
really
what your
understand what
alt
you're
account
asking.
is?
Some people do.
Is that what you're saying?
Fine.
People know, like, do you have alt accounts, Miss Jade?
I don't personally have alt accounts, so I don't understand what you're asking.
Right.
Well,
I have alt.
that was all I needed you to say. So you don't know what they are.
I have
Oh my
my
goodness.
secondary account. You could consider that an alternative account. Like, I don't understand exactly the question. That
I don't
you're
know.
asking.
Why do people need alt accounts, Miss Jade?
Because of psychos like you.
To remain anonymous. Is that correct?
That can be one of the reasons.
What?
Yeah.
Do you hear how she's now yelling at Melissa because Melissa's not giving Lana the answer Lana wants? These are unaltered. Because Lana's not giving her the answer she wants. She is now screaming at her. And this is all for a protection order?
It's the others.
I just answered that.
And the judge doesn't.
You're asking me to answer a question for different people. I can't answer.
No, I'm asking you what you know. What's your personal knowledge of what an alt account means?
An alternative account. It could be used to keep anonymous. It could be used as a backup account. It could be used for I don't know what the list of reasons could be used.
Okay,
for.
thank you.
It's an alternative account.
Okay, thank you.
Good golly.
And you just said that you have one. Is that correct?
Facts, Chronicles.
I have
of the
my
Shady.
Jade Coven's account. Yeah, my Jaded Coven.
Okay, thank you.
Judge is crazy.
And make that 17.
That was
Well, Natasha, like I said, I appreciate you letting me come on here and just talk to you guys. Like I said, I've never talked to you before. I'd be happy to speak with you offline. But if there, like I said, anybody else out there, if you're in that situation where you do feel like you're backed into a corner by her, please
Look at her with her post-it notes writing, like getting ready to pass Lana things. Don't forget this.
Who is Kim Kaufman soliciting for victims to come forward from?
Could you play it again?
Absolutely.
No idea that when I said
It is,
anybody else is
Piper.
out there,
It's her girlfriend
Yeah,
slash
yeah.
fiance.
come forward. I had no idea that I was going to be talking to 16 people.
Woo! Woohoo! You talked to 16 people?
And now the reason for her to play this is to prove that Melissa called her a sexual predator. It never gets proven because it was never stated. And here goes her puppet back here with the first note ready to send off.
You talked to 16 people?
How's that even allowed?
So in the courtroom, when we get to ask this question to you, Ms. Cooper, it says here that you talked to 16 people.
December 5th.
Who were they? Who messaged you? Alts? Were they alts?
And make that 17.
No. That was
Well, Natasha, like I said, I appreciate you letting me come on here and just talk to you guys. Like I said, I've never talked to you before. I'd be happy to speak with you offline. But if there, like I said, anybody else out there, if you're in that situation where you do feel like you're backed into a corner by her, please reach out to Natasha, to this other Kimberly on here, Melissa probably, I'm sure, and me.
Any of us.
Because it's terrifying and it's traumatizing and it can affect your life. And the last thing we need is something really bad to happen, or for someone not to be able to emotionally handle it and do something that they potentially.
How do you think it would affect somebody, Miss Jade, when you would be called a sexual predator?
I can't answer.
That would be speculation, right?
Yes, that would be
If it happened to you and you were called a sexual predator, Miss Jade, do you know how you would respond? You would try to probably prove them wrong, wouldn't you, Miss Jade?
And there are many of us who agreed with Lana that it was a very heavy accusation to place out there. But instead of Lana going forth and proving people wrong, she proved it all to be right. That is the difference. And she doesn't recognize that. She doesn't see that. When she decides to flash a woman's vagina on the screen and an act of revenge, okay, you right there proves that you are a predator. And I get why she'd be so angry and upset, but at the same time, it's like, well, how, it's how you went about it. Yeah, and then you terrorize people for years. It's been a complete insanity. It's been literally insane.
Would you try to prove people wrong if they called you a sexual predator, Miss Jade?
I guess that would
Absolutely.
depend on my actions.
Right. Great answer.
And Matt Brum, because I've spoken to people that it's so overwhelming and so scary.
There's another note
that they can have a night of drinking or being so scared they would do something to stop it themselves that they couldn't come back from. And that's
Passing notes.
how serious this stuff goes. I mean, I get that it's online and it's social media and there's a certain amount of harassment when it comes to this case, but you guys, this really, really goes deep with people. And it does. And I challenge you guys. I mean, I get that we talk about the Chris Watts case, there's a lot of emotion and there's a lot of about that, but
Victimizing all of these people. I mean, there are so many things going on right now that are just like.
Can you drop the link for Kim? Because she got dropped off.
Oh, yeah.
Energy brings me zen.
Yes.
Right there, you said that Kimberly brings you zen. For you to be on this panel, right?
Yeah.
Kimberly brings you zen, right? Okay.
Right.
And you need her to come back on panel.
It's just, it's crazy.
Thank you.
Like, what is the relevancy there? Why does that matter?
Who is talking about my channel? I appreciate it.
Right there, Miss Jade. Everybody is in live chat, isn't that correct? And you are thanking them.
Look how she slides back on that one. Like, I got him. No, we're looking for where she calls you a sexual predator, ma'am.
Thank you for everyone who is talking about my channel. I appreciate it.
Right there, Miss Jade.
As if she wanted to build her channel off of this. Come on. That woman's a lunatic. I don't care how calm she is. She's a fucking lunatic. As of 2 days ago, there was no results in. I don't know. She does talk in circles. This is supposed to be proven that she needs protection from Melissa. Not that Melissa built a channel, not that people called her a predator, but that Melissa did something to warrant a protection order. There are a lot of people out here who need protection orders. Lana does not. There are people that probably need one against Lana. And like Chronicles said, meanwhile, there are people that are actually in danger waiting to be before this judge. And this is all being held up with this YouTube Jerry Springer bullshit. It's insanity.
Everybody is in live chat, isn't that correct? And you are thanking them for talking about your channel while you are calling Miss Oriani a sexual predator, isn't that correct?
Did you play the part where
We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that, Miss Jade. I want you to hear your comments here. If you need me to replay it, I will.
But she's denying that she called you that.
I'm getting to that. I'm just trying to pay the sequence.
Again, I have not heard this. Okay. So the last time
you haven't heard this, you said it, Miss Jade. It doesn't matter if you heard it.
It was over. This is 2020, May of 2021. Okay, correct. So you could play it, but you just stated that at the same time that I was calling you I was talking about my channel, right?
No. Yeah, on May 27th, you were on this panel. May 27th.
The only one that is raising their voice, that is getting aggressive, that is jumping around like a out of control toddler is Lana. That's it. Exactly. She always says, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. She never gets to it. It's insane.
When you were on this panel, you are now thanking people about your channel. And I want you to hear this again out of your own words.
I'm clearly acknowledging whatever people are saying in the chat.
Thank you, Dr. Two Sips. Yeah, and thank you for everyone who is talking about my channel. I appreciate it. That's a no drop.
Listen, whether you believe Brian is guilty or not, to sell shirts that say he is a pimp, it's just gross. It's all gross. All of it. Well, she's intimidating is what she is, Chronicles. And she's in here seeking a restraining order. You would think this was about harassment, about defamation. It is for a restraining order.
Amazon, and I guess that's what I fear too, is that this is going to bring the drama. But what?
Like, what are you doing,
Thank you
Judge?
for everyone who's been supportive. And just because, you know, the other people haven't stepped forward, pray for them too, because
Sure
trust
is.
me when I say they're going through just as much. And it is, you know,
Other people. Melissa, who are the other people? Who are these other people that are going through so much, Melissa?
Look at her. She can't even control herself in the courtroom. She can't.
Question number one from Melissa.
if you talked to me 20 minutes ago, I was one of the people who didn't come forward yet, you know, but they're struggling too. And it's seriously like, I've never experienced anything like this in my life. I really haven't, but it's terrifying.
What has Melissa experienced?
And right now it's all about the backlash. You know, we're all waiting for how is she going to respond? What is she going to do? And, you know,
We're all waiting. We're all waiting. Who in the fuck? This is Tina with What the Fuck Transition Services. What Melissa Jade is saying here is that we're all waiting. Who is we are all waiting for what Lana is going to do?
All the people that trusted you in the DMs. And guess what Lana later went on to do? Reveal every private, personal conversation she ever had. Matter of fact, she's much like AP. She actually did it to you too, didn't she, AP? You gave her some information, and she later on a stream mentioned that it came from you. Yeah, you two are very similar in the fact that anything you ever confided in Lana, she would throw up on a screen.
how embarrassing is it going to be? Because that's what
I told Lana myself that the reason people don't trust her is because she'll take anything, put it public, and she's dangerous for that. What does she do? She put my message public to prove that she's not dangerous. Duh.
I'm scared of, and I know that's what another person's scared of.
I think that's what everyone's scared of with her when it comes to that.
Yeah.
And
Well,
you know,
none of us are going anywhere, hon. We're with you all the way through this. We're not going anywhere.
and not people. If you don't,
Wait, we're not going anywhere. We're going to be here with you all the way through, Melissa. That's from Kimberly here. Okay. Sounds good, Kimberly. Sounds perfect.
comfortable coming forward publicly, feel free to reach out still privately to any of us. Because,
Yes.
I mean, not everyone is built or suited to go public with this kind of stuff, but that doesn't mean you don't have to. It's not for most people. I don't honestly recommend it, to be honest.
On the screen here, at this point, when I told this story on November 29th, 2021, you were actually in my live broadcast, and on the screen, Melissa Jade pops up, and it says, the story Ludovica told was insane regarding the backlash. Can you explain what that means?
Can you explain what that means? Unbelievable. Oh, the judge just allows all of it. The judge allows all of it. It goes on for hours and hours. We'll actually have to revisit it because today is a family day where I forced the kids to hang out with me. Her questions are just dumb. She points out the most relevant crap because in her head it makes sense. Problem is her head ain't right. Exactly, Google. That's what I said. Only Lana took dots that don't connect and somehow connected them. It is absolute insanity what she has done. What can anything be done about that, Father Snuggle? I don't know. I'm shocked. I know it gets brought up in here why Melissa didn't do something. Honestly, most people that dealt with Lana just wanted it to end. I know one person who was very close to this that was felt emotionally tied to Lana out of fear of backlash. So walked a very thin line with her. A lot of people try to walk a very thin line with her. This is a woman who got somebody's address off of a copyright strike and had a Uber Eats deliverer think that she had good intent, and they recorded the whole thing and allowed Lana to speak through the speaker towards this person in an intimidation factor. This is a woman who will dox you without hesitation. This is a woman who sent around RP. This is a woman who pretty much intimidates people into doing what she wants. And now that she has a larger audience, people are more than ever afraid Most people just wanted to be left alone. That's it. Well, and that's what's horrible about all this, Blueberry, and that falls back onto the judge, is that they spent 14 hours listening to this stupidity when there are others who really needed to be before that judge. Oh, yeah. Hey, Lucy, because she'll mark you down for ever trolling. She has people out here that are actually defending her, and I think simply out of hate, if you ask me. No, it's actually Vanessa that does Chronicle is Shady. And the fact that people are even defending her just because they dislike others involved blows my mind, because, I mean, people have been terrorized by her. They have. Even with a lifetime restraining order, it does not stop her. All to bully whoever disagrees with her. Yep. 14 hours, hey, Joe. 14 hours. I don't know. I just, judge had no control over the courtroom. This is a judge who has seen Lana several times, and every time Lana goes before, it's almost the same story. Do I believe that everything was handled correctly? Absolutely not. But to be going on still in 2023, unreal. I wonder if they could. I wonder if they could. This is a woman who not asked back to her coaching job. This person worked with high school young ladies. Can you imagine her as a coach? Nope. I'll link them in the About section, Kaz. Creators shouldn't be allowed to delete criticism. Lana is the worst of the worst on sexual harassment on YouTube. Try to make herself a victim. Leave that mess in the past. Yep. Does just say it says he's a pimp. Here, I'll pull it up. Give me 1 second. Yeah, they shouldn't be allowed. I'll pull up exactly what her new merch is saying. So this was emailed to me. Here, so if you want your amazing mug as in your face on my live panel screen while in the background of infamous spots within the Idaho 4 Moscow Martyrs case, then you best tune in for that show and click on the link while I'm live during my tour. When you're on the screen, screenshot it, and then you can send me the pic and we can print it on a hoodie with one of your favorite Lana sayings. Install my ass, or I'm only here for a noise complaint or no report. Be sure to click notifications and or join memberships to catch it all in real time, because you never know when this girl is going to interview Ian Hirsch inside his apartment throwing flame, or this girl doing a cake stand with Kummer for a $20 bet. P.S. Yes, Koberger Pimpin' hoodies are also available with his face surrounded by complex tattoos. I swear when you were on the panel the other day, I totally recognized your voice. Now I know why. So good to reconnect. Me? This was unreal. She yells, don't ask direct questions, cuss her off while answering questions. When it was finally Melissa's turn to ask Lana questions, Lana answered questions with a question. It was horrible. Yeah. And there are 4, quite frankly, kids. For those who don't know, this lady has a channel with her disgusting impersonation of shenanigans. Yeah, I played some of them, Tracy. And that's only a bit of them. And the people that found those and brought them forward now are friendly with Lana. It blows my mind. Things like this should be reported to the victims' advocates. Well, you know, on her trip, she might do a cake stand. Such a professional. Nothing like a Koberger Pimpin' hoodie. The results aren't in yet, MS. Oh, Loki's mom. I'm getting ready to wrap it up anyway. But yeah, this is Yes. And then he allowed her on panel to walk it all back. I actually have some of that recorded. Maybe we'll visit some of the outline and history to all of this before we carry on to the next segment of the case. How this woman has the amount of subscribers. I mean, listen, I'm all about people growing forth and being allowed to change and be recognized for other aspects of their work. And, you know, Lana does do good case coverage, although all of it is, you know, the police are bad at the end of her sayings. And the way she torments some of the families, I don't know. But my point being, she hasn't changed. She was literally in a chat while we were all in Lynn's, and she was marking down everybody who was in the chat saying something against her, and she will be seeking revenge in one way or another. The woman has not changed. It's just, you know, she will always at heart be the woman that dressed up as Shazam. And that's just factual. Thank you, Clarissa. So good to see you. Thank you, Booberry. The snow stopped, so that's a good thing. They're still there, Lori, unfortunately. That is the problem, Chronicles. They do not enforce it. They don't enforce it. It's sickening. But, hey, they can update their TOS. Let's see if they follow through with it. I appreciate all of you being here today. Again, if people care she did in 2021, she would not have gained 40K subs after damage trauma caused since November 2022. I don't think a lot of people knew. She was being advertised by bigger channels who didn't look into her. These cases with lies and ridiculous theories, yeah. Very disrespectful to the victims. Anyway, I appreciate all of you. If you haven't, please hit the thumbs up. We will get back to it another day. I hope you all have a safe and happy Sunday. Tomorrow's Martin Luther King Day, so we are off. And yeah, we're actually going to make it through our entire life without the hootie hoo. Hootie hoo! Huh? Well, that's the problem, Cooper. People focused on what was familiar, which would be Betty, Molly, JR, but there's this. Oh, I know. And it's funny because you have people that claim to like really know TOS, and they're usually the ones that break it the most. Thank you, Spudler. I hope you all have a great day as well. I will see you all tomorrow.